Good morning and welcome to Atlantic Television Network. Atlantic Blowout is a syndicated live program of the network featuring chit-chatting and conversation on special interest topics, news, events, and stories through correspondence, reports, expert opinion, and stakeholders analysis. Today we'll be looking at stories from the judiciary. Industry courts lament incompetence of councils, and in the power sector, EFCC uncovers monumental fraud. The civil service has 19 directors fail the exams, and then the retired federal government workers protest over 18 months unpaid salary in arrears. The minimum wage, labor leaders call for 70,000 naira implementation. And ASU accuses World Bank, IMF of destroying universities. Obasanjo, the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, urges youth to embrace AI. And then we'll go on a short break, and when we return, we'll take the news and details. Do stay with us. Thank you and welcome back for joining us. Right here with us in the studio, we have with us an important personality. He is no other than His Royal Chief Mene Ambassador Magnus Edo. He is the paramount ruler of the Ewa village in Kano local government area of Rivers State. His Royal Highness Magnus is a conflict resolution expert, a social analyst, and the CEO RST Universal Resources. These are so many much designation of you. It's an honor to have you here, sir.
Thank you for having me this morning.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And right away into the news and details. President of the National Industrial Court of Nigeria, NICN, Justice Benedict Kanyip, on Tuesday abused reasons why lawyers working under the federal government loses cases in courts. Justice Kanyip, who spoke at the opening session of the training on proceedings of the NICN organized for State Council and the Federal Ministry of Justice, said it was unfortunate that many government lawyers appear in courts not only unprepared but also ignorant of new developments in the jurisprudence. Many cases have been lost by the government due to the incompetence of counsel, the NICN president insisted. According to the jurist, YFG was lamenting its inability to win most industrial-related disputes. Labor unions, on their part, accused the court of favoring the government. He noted that many state councils approached the industrial court with the wrong notion that it shares similar procedural guidelines and practice directions with the Federal High Court. While declaring the training open, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, said the aim was to build capacity of lawyers in the Ministry of Justice in the resolution of industrial disputes, either through the litigation of or mediation windows offered by the NICN. This training therefore offers a unique platform to deepen our skills, shaping our knowledge, and prepare for the complexities we face as legal practitioners. He went on to say the role of the NICN is therefore critical to our national interest, as it has the responsibility not only to resolve labor disputes, but to shape the environment in which workers and employers can coexist productively. Therefore, it is essential to strengthen our collective skills and ensure we are well equipped to address the evolving legal challenges staring our dear nation. As an administration, we will continue to invest in capacity development initiatives for our law officers in all specialized areas of public law to substantially improve upon the quality of prosecution and defense conducted on behalf of the government, so as to meet contemporary demands of good governance. His Royal Highness, these were words of the NICN to the legal practitioner, but I would also want to get your thoughts on this.
I think this one is not coming from people like me. It's coming from the insider, the law officers themselves, telling us that the inability of some of their lawyers to win cases, that's to show that they have not been properly trained often, and they ought to have been periodic training, quarterly training to update them on the, everything is going digital. There are some lawyers that are still in course of filing proceedings. They are still using the analog means of filing proceeding in court. Okay? So when you are not being digitalized, you are not being trained, your inefficiency will quickly show to the world that you are incapable of doing some certain things. And again, we have to look at the means of employment. How were they employed into the Ministry of Justice? The lawyers themselves. Did they pass through the normal rigorous processes of proper examinations and all that takes to employ a legal practitioner that is to represent the ministry, mostly in our states. And you can see that they are also saying that a lot of government are losing cases because of incompetent lawyers that they hired. So I was expecting that they should go and look at the punish some of these lawyers that are not well prepared to serve the public. Because
what do you mean by punishing
yes,
the lawyers?
Of course, if you know that this person is incompetent, and they have said that some of them come to court unprepared. What does unprepared mean to me? It means incompetent. It means that you are not, you don't value your job, because since as much as you are here, you need to do justice to why you are here. And if you are not doing that, then you don't need to be there.
So the word punishment, do you mean that they have to reintegrate them into the system, or bring up a new policy or a new entrance form to get access to be recognized as legal practitioners?
In civil service, they have rules. They have rules how you can discipline your workers. Okay, but I shouldn't be the one to voice out the appropriate means of discipline incompetent workers. You have a case assigned to a lawyer that is working in the Ministry of Justice. Don't forget, it is our taxpayers' money they are paying them. Okay? Unlike the private lawyers that struggle to get case, that struggle to get their clients. So they make sure that they sustain that client to make that client happy. They use all the legal tactics to ensure that they win case, because if you are not winning cases, you will not be marketable. Okay, people will not be rushing to your chamber for defense and all that, for proper counseling. So I think the civil service will spell out rules, how you can discipline someone that is not serious about, you know. Even when the president of the customary, the industrial court of appeal was also saying that some of them even come late to court, okay. And in one case, he also mentioned that practically he used himself as an example why a lawyer was standing before him was unprepared, okay. Even as that, he went further to say that even though the case was delivered in favor of that particular lawyer, that to show that there are so many things that we need to correct in the judiciary. Okay. Even when laborers are saying that most of the court cases favors government, okay, that to show that there's need the need to overhaul the system. They need improvement. Okay,
what policy, what means, like you said, punishments? I don't know if that's the word to use, but what means do you think can be used to lighten this and make them sit up and make them more serious, like the private lawyers you mentioned?
Yes, you see, there are different measures of punishment, like I have said before. You can demote them, and some of them are high-ranking ministry officers. If you not according to who brought the case, according to the law, you are unable to defend it, and they see lapses on you. Apply that law. Let it be applied to anybody, no matter how highly placed that lawyer is, because you are being employed to defend the states. You are being employed to defend the nations as a lawyer. As why you are employed is because of this. And again, some of them abandon their primary functions. Moment is in the judiciary. So once the judiciary started having issue, so I want to advise on this topic. I want to advise that they carry out periodical training.
Okay, you talked about training and demotion. Yes. So when they are demoted, you feel they would sit up?
Of course, it's like that all over the world. If you are not performing, you don't need to be paid. There are different measures you can discipline, like I've said. There are different methods you can discipline. Should I call them on serious? Those that are not serious. There are different ways you can discipline them. I think you often need assign cases to them so that they can learn proceedings.
And talking about the part, there was a part where you talked about those lawyers that have other businesses they are doing. They leave their assigned primary functions of that they are supposed to do to serve the government and do these other businesses. Is it that there are no agencies, there are no doing what they're supposed to do, or take records of achievements that, like, you know, like take policies that okay, everyone is always available. You're not doing something that holds it for them to not take it for granted.
You taking from the statement that you read here, you are seeing that there is corruption in the system. The whole system is, what have you done? Yes, that the essence of the training is to equip them. Okay, let's give them benefit of doubt that maybe they haven't been trained on some certain new policies, new rules. You know, lawyers read so much. There are different rules every day. You go to lawyers' chambers, you will see different court rules. So if these ones have not been trained, let's give them that benefit of that. After now, let's see whether they will perform optimally as expected.
Okay. And personally, because like you said, lawyers read, they make research, they want to get more information. Does that mean that they are not individually trying to improve themselves, to get better, aside the fact that, okay, we want to practice this profession and defend the government whenever to study further, to lay back and not move forward intellectually?
Look how intelligently you are questioning me. That to show that you are competent. That to show that you have something upstairs. You can't be sitting down and then we can't be intelligent.
Thank you.
That shows that you are well prepared for this job. Are you getting me? That shows that you are well prepared for this job. And in as much as you are prepared for this job, the people must also see it. Your productivity will show. Okay? So for those that either they are reading or they are not reading, The output is what we want to see. The output is what Nigerians want to see.
Yeah.
That you are doing your job. It doesn't mean either you are reading or you are upgrading yourself personally. Of course, before you graduated from the law school and all.
Awarded projects to supply electrical equipment often opted for substandard materials. He added that this practice was a major cause of frequent. As I am talking to you now, we are grappling with electricity. If you see some of the investigations we are carrying out within the power sector, you will shed tears. People who were awarded contracts to supply electrical equipment, instead of using what they call 9.0 gauge, they would go and buy 5.0. This is really factorial or other forms of growth on the administration of criminal justice functions over again. And it's affected also with the fact that the whole
of this